Well, good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to be joined on stage now by Roberto Rossi, president of Schneider Electric Brazil, a company that's at the forefront of energy management and automation. And as Brazil accelerates its industrial transformation, Schneider Electric has been driving innovation in electrification, efficiency, and digitalization, all essential, as we know, for a low-carbon future. So, Roberto, thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here with me, and thank you for the introduction of the company. Yes, you're right. The movement in the last year has been impressive. So Schneider is an old company, already 180 years alive, and we have seen over the time a lot of industrial and energy disruptions and revolutions. And then back in time, we defined a concept around Electricity 4.0 to showcase what is moving forward in terms of energy transition and digitalization. What we do see is a movement in which we are more electrical and more digital moving forward. And on top of that, what we bring is a more connectable product and more connected solutions. Then this is more or less what we are looking for.
Well, let's start by exploring a little bit about how greater electrification and digitization can really drive industrial decarbonization and competitiveness, right? There's a lot of technologies out there, but I wanted to understand from you, what are these technologies already helping the industry kind of move into that direction?
Yeah, as I said, the concept of electricity and digitalization coming together is reshaping the market. We do see more connectable products. We do see a smarter, more connectable, or more efficiency in the energy system. Why? Because from one side, electricity is reshaping the market. It's the better source of energy because in terms of performance, and it can also be generated in a clean way. And in parallel, the easy adoption of it is making transformation in mobility, is making transformation in process, is making transformation in heating. That means today the share of wallet of energy for the electricity in energy is 22%, and it will reach 40% by the 2050, 2055. In parallel, what we do see is what in time was segregated system, energy management and industrial automation. Over the time, with more and more digitization, they start to combine together to be one unique backbone, sharing information, sharing resources, and bringing more information that we didn't have in the past. With this information, we start to connect production with demand, with generation, and along with that, we used to have these two systems formerly segregated, now together, but moving forward to what was hardware-defined automation into software-defined automation. In the past, all the controllers defined the way in which we do the automation, either for energy or either for the part of production. By now, more and more, all these controllers are not making sense anymore, and in the future, software will define the platform to make it happen. Then we have a good platform to top up with all the solutions, whether artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital twins, or whatever solution for energy stability across the board. And this is applicable to all the segments, building, data center, industry, et cetera. And we have already some solution implemented here in Brazil, in Vale, with a Aviva Pi system to monitor the weather condition for risk response, to be sure that they will reduce the carbon footprint. We have solution with Melia hotels, with our resource advisor to reduce also the consumption and other solutions that have been implemented. Then, long story short, we do see the conversions of electrification along with digitalization moving forward, removing 70% of the carbon footprint in an easy way. The topic is how to implement.
And speaking a little bit about Brazil, because we're obviously all here for COP, based on your experience leading Schneider Electric in Brazil, what would it take for Brazil to really become a global leader in sustainable industrial development?
So at the end, Brazil today, as everyone knows, is super well positioned in some domains, in generation and maybe in the future business of the carbon market. In terms of generation, we are the leader by far because we can achieve 84% of our generation in a clean way. Then what is happening now is on the other side of the equation, when you see the result of World Economic Forum in terms of energy transition index, we are in the position 15, mainly because it's not only the generation, but also the consumption. It's energy efficiency, energy equity, and sustainability. And on the other side, the CNI local entity is qualifying our productivity like position 18 out of 18. That means a lot of things to be done. Our focus should be on the demand side. Our focus should be to train the future generation and the current generation and to create policies to create a platform for sustainable business and predictable business.
So you just mentioned something really important, which is, you know, the implementation of these strategic kind of demand side solutions, right? and really to have these solutions to support this industrial decarbonization. What are those opportunities?
So to give you one example is the one that was presented, I guess, today of Redata. So when you look back, I used to be the president for Indonesia, and I arrived here 1 year and a half ago. And the data center market was promising but blocked. Blocked why? Because from one side, the plenty of energetic solutions in a clean way and affordable way, plus the land available in Brazil, make it a perfect scenario. But the rest of the policies, taxation, regulation, we are not there to make it happen. And as it was showcased today, this was a good collaboration in between private sector and public sector to make it happen. And now we can see moving forward almost 2 trillion reais coming on investment, because now Brazil could be a hub for data center, also for Brazil, incorporating the data that is today processed out of Brazil, or maybe because we can bring from outside data to be processed. In parallel, more generic, what I would like to highlight that Schneider Sustainability Research Institute is working with the Ministry of Development for Industry and Commerce in one white paper, one contribution for the country to decarbonize the industry. This will be released now in the COP, and this is fully aligned with the intention of the government for the Nova Industria in Brazil, as well as the increase of the industrialization while reducing the carbon footprint. And then what we are bringing there is the experience of our research institute that have done this in India and in China with remarkable results.
So this study and project that you mentioned, what concrete pathways does the study really propose for you to achieve that decarbonization?
Well, there is a report that includes 3 chapters. Okay. The first chapter is already released, where we showcase worldwide the energy transition toward 2050, what it will happen with electricity, electrification, energy efficiency, circularity, and other domains like biofuels, etc. The second and the third chapter will be released soon in the COP and are more focused on all the policies that will bring actionable actions toward bioeconomy, better jobs, all the value chain around this the value creation, subsidies, policies, improvement on the way on the value chain is recognized by consuming less resources. And then totally it will be connected to something that from one side it will be feasible from the technical standpoint, viable from the economical standpoint, in line with the focus of the country toward the 2050 commitment. And then we have the third chapter that is more or less all the scenarios that we will have depending on the acceleration of these policies, because at the end, these policies could be applied or not, could be faster or slower, and then we will have several scenarios of how the 25 will look like according to this evolution.
I know that we're out of time, but I don't want to let Roberto go without asking him a little bit about COP. A very simple question. What are your expectations for COP30 being hosted in Brazil, and what do you hope that the impact is?
Well, by now, Schneider has been participating in COP for more than 10 years. As the most sustainable company in the world, we consider that we have a voice to share there and solution to be shared there. Being practical, the COP of 2015, the Paris COP, is still remembered for iconic, to define the maximum of the rise of the temperature and to put the topic on the center. I do hope that moving forward, the COP of Brazil will be remembered as the COP of implementation. As per today, we know more or less how we can get financial scheme, but still we don't know how to implement, how to roll out, and how to rule this. So I do hope the COP of Brazil in 10 years' time or 20 years' time will be remembered as the COP of the implementation toward a better future by the end of the century.
Well, thank you. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I want to thank Roberto Rossi and also Schneider Electric for supporting our event. Thank you all.
Thank you.